Welcome everyone, thanks for joining us for today's episode of Canal Days. As always, I'm your host Tierney, along with my co-host, founder of Historical Tours of Greater Holyoke, Robert Caboon. Our Canal Days series delves into the vast collection of historical sites throughout Massachusetts with Robert's expertise of the local history as our guide. Each episode we uncover history throughout local communities with historic houses, meaningful monuments, preeminent political pioneers, and remarkable remaining remnants, all while uncovering their seminal significance. Today's episode of Canal Days will be canvassing the St. Theresa of Lisieux Church in South Hadley, Massachusetts. So reveal the early history of the church.
It started as a mission church of another Catholic church in South Hadley called the St. Patrick's Church, which itself was a mission church of the St. Jerome's Church. So it kept going forward with these mission churches. Of course, it was formed in 1936 as a mission chapel. It was called the Chapel of the Little Flower. And it was located on Newton Street within South Hadley. And then for 10 years it stayed in that state of being a mission church. In 1946, finally, it became a full parish, separate from the St. Patrick's Roman Catholic Church. So South Hadley had two Catholic churches going. And that means they get their own pastor instead of having to have one come over from the St. Patrick's. So today we're going to talk about what both campuses are like and who this saint is and how does this church fit into the Catholic scheme of things. So, in 1946 it becomes a full pastor and parish, and that means that it has its own congregation, all its own parishioners that can come here separately. But it was very, very small. It wanted to get itself into a bigger place, and in 1970 that finally happened, and that was at East Parkview Drive. But only the church went up there. The pastor wanted to have more, but the rectory and parish hall stayed behind on Newton Street. And they finally, in 1988, got both the rectory built and a parish hall attached to the church, and so they closed down operations at their Newton Street location.
And describe the campus.
The modern campus is very beautiful. It's a one-floor building, and it's very large. You can fit a lot of people inside of it. So I've gone to Mass many times there. I am from South Hadley. So it's been an easy time understanding its history because I can see it in front of us. Now, the rectory itself, since 1988, is right inside of its driveway, right off to the right side of the parish itself. And the social hall was attached towards the right-hand side as you look in. And a beautiful statue of St. Theresa of Lisieux is on the other side of the churchyard, very close to the driveway coming in. And there you can also say prayers to her. And it's beautiful because they have a lot of flowers there. Remember, these used to be the Chapel of the Little Flower.
And we'll be right back after a few words. I'm fascinated by local history and eager to investigate the obscure treasures off the beaten path throughout the state of Massachusetts, or maybe just seeking an unforgettable cultural activity for family and friends to enjoy. Look no further than Historical Tours of Greater Holyoke, founded by Robert Caboon. With over a decade of experience, Robert offers captivating tours and presentations of historic sites and landmarks throughout the state. Whether you're interested in canals, cemeteries, charming churches, and more, Robert's tours provide a unique and enriching experience for all. And that's not it. You can also schedule private tours tailored to your interests, ensuring a personalized adventure and unforgettable memories. Perfect for families or groups of all sizes, making for an exciting hands-on learning experience that brings history to life. Simply visit holyokecanaltour.org or email bobcat4214, capital B, at yahoo.com to book your private tour today. But wait, there's more. Don't miss out on Robert's podcast and video series, Canal Days, where you can dive even deeper into the vital history of the Connecticut River Valley. Plus, for those who may not be local or would rather enjoy on the go or from the comfort of their home, Canal Days brings the adventure right to your screen. So don't miss out. Uncover the pivotal past, visit historical tours of Greater Holyoke to make your own history with memories that will last a lifetime. Remember to log on to holyokecanaltour.org for more information and secure a personalized experience today. Welcome back to our Canal Days episode of the St. Theresa of Lisieux Church. And can you clarify who St. Theresa of Lisieux is?
Theresa of Lisieux is a saint within the modern times, and that's unusual. She was born in 1873 and died 1897. She was only 24 years old at the time of her death. She is from France. She joined in with the Carmelite nuns and was a very holy person and always asked herself, what is it? Who is God? What does it mean for my life? She had the nickname of the Little Flower of Jesus, or even shorter as the Little Flower, and hence the name of the St. Theresa Church in South Hadley was a chapel of the Little Flower. And she's a very influential person within the Catholic faith, and I'm glad that this church has been named after her. And the popes in the modern time have gotten her canonized, and that's wonderful. And people love her for her simplicity, for her willingness to keep questioning herself.
And depict how this church fits into the Catholic churches of South Hadley.
Right, there's two Catholic churches in South Hadley. The St. Patrick's was a mission church of St. Jerome's, which was at 4 different locations in South Hadley Falls. The modern church has been there from the late 1930s. But they started up for themselves a mission church, and that was because the size of South Hadley was very long, and some of the people in the center of South Hadley had to travel great distances, sometimes even up to 8 miles, to get to the St. Patrick's Church of the Falls. And so in 1936, they established this mission. Now, what it was a rectory with a social hall in back, and then a chapel out in front. And the chapel was well attended. And it got so big that by 1946, they had to go into their own building. And so thus, that's why you have two Catholic churches in South Hadley. Both are very well attended. So for a community that is only 18,000 people, that's pretty good to hear. And they're both beautiful churches still.
And thank you for listening to Canal Days and our episode on the St. Theresa of Lisieux Church and joining us on our journey through the rich history of the Connecticut River Valley. We hope you enjoyed uncovering some of the hidden and overlooked marvels and their fascinating stories that shaped our past and the state of Massachusetts. A special thanks to Robert Comu, founder of the Historical Tours of Greater Holyoke, for sharing his passion and expertise with us. Remember, you can find out more information about Robert's tours, book private tours, and explore the Canal Days video and podcast series at holyokecanaltour.org. If you enjoyed today's episode, please like, comment, and share. We'd love to hear your thoughts and suggestions for future episodes.